Hi there and welcome to today's vlog. Now the theme for today is the greatest love. When I was a student at Methodist Training College, there were a group of four of us who used to meet regularly to pray. We used to meet in one of our study rooms, and the four of us used to pray together. And we had a map of the world. I think it was on the wall, and we used to, each time we met, we would choose a particular country, find out about that country, and then pray for that country, for its people. And we saw some wonderful answers to prayer. When the Berlin Wall came down, we'd been praying about that particular issue. Not that we were solely responsible, of course, but it was great to be able to just use that gift of prayer to pray for countries around the world that perhaps we'd never be able to visit. Anyway, the reason I mentioned that is because two of my friends who were part of that foursome that we had did go out into ministry, the regular ministry as I did, but later became army chaplains, and that's the kind of forgotten element of the forces, that there are chaplains. In fact, chaplains are in a whole range of areas of life. But these two, both called David, incidentally, became army chaplains. One of them now is back in Methodist Circuit Ministry. The other is, I wrote it down, he is the Assistant Chaplain General, which for a Methodist is quite an exalted role, I guess, doing a great work in sharing the love of Jesus in the context of those who are serving in the forces. And again, I mentioned that because I want to show you now a photograph. There it goes. And you can probably tell by his costume that he is, or he was, he's no longer alive, a chaplain, an army chaplain. His name was Edward Noel Mellish. As a young curate, towards the beginning of the First World War, he felt that it was his duty to enlist, not as a combatant as such, but as a chaplain, and he was taken on to that role. Edward Noel Mellish was around 35 years of age, I think, when a certain incident happened in the war that led to him being awarded the Victoria Cross, which, as you know, is the highest honour that can be given in that context. So from 27th to the 29th of March 1916, some heavy fighting, very heavy fighting took place in a particular area of Belgium. And Edward Mellish went to and fro continuously between the original trenches that had been dug and the captured trenches of the enemy. He was attending to and rescuing wounded soldiers. And there's an area, a particular area, that was swept by machine gun fire. And by his bravery, his compassion for those who had been wounded, he rescued 10 severely wounded men. Although his battalion was relieved on the second day, he returned and he rescued 12 more of the wounded. And he took charge of a group of volunteers on the third day and returned to the trenches to rescue the remaining wounded. Now, this wasn't part of his normal duties as an army chaplain, but he really felt that it was something that he needed to do. And through his bravery, his commitment to the cause, wounded men were rescued from that awesome, horrible battlefield. Now, you may be wondering, what's this got to do with the greatest love? Well, you probably almost certainly remember that those words of Jesus when in John 15 verse 13 he said, "Greater love has no one than this, than they lay down their lives for their friends." We show love when we are willing to give of ourselves. Now, Edward Mellish didn't actually die in that conflict. So in one sense, he didn't lay down his life, but in another, he was willing to. He went out, he put himself in danger time and again to rescue those wounded soldiers and bring them back to relative safety. What a great example that is. But of course, he and we can look to the greatest example, where Jesus Christ, the Son of God, came and showed his love for us when he willingly laid down his life for us and rose from the dead, so that through faith in him we can know the assurance of his constant presence and of life eternal. The greatest love. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening today.